All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the WTCF podcast. It's Charlie here hanging out in the basement. And this week, I wanted to go ahead and talk about, the intention from last week, basically stating the only person stopping me from happiness is me. And what I really wanted to spend my time, because sometimes people suck. And sometimes you just don't want to deal with some people and they suck and you want to be mad about it. And what I wanted to do is to spend my time instead thinking about the things that made me really happy and excited about life. Because I think it's really important to recognize that we are in control of our own thoughts. We actively have moments can show up and pop up in your head, and some of you feel like they need to be addressed immediately. We actually get to pick everything that we spend our time on. So the more I spend my time thinking about being angry, the probably angrier I'm going to be. And I think it's a really interesting example from my father. So my time, and I met up with him one day at the bar, just because it's nice to hang out. And one of his other buddies down the bar came sat down next to me for a little bit, and we were talking. And I guess his wife used to work with my mom back in the day, and that's how apparently they all know each other. So I'm like, okay, cool. And he goes, "Your dad used to be really funny. Now he's just an angry guy." Recognize that my dad has been a little bit more angry than need be for a lot of things. Very hyper conservative, super patriot kind of deal, but like doesn't understand what any of that means. Would prefer a dictator over anything else. So again, like I think my dad has just been in a spot where he's been fed a lot of information. He thinks about that information a lot, and that information made him mad. So he's just up for it, and he says it a lot. I don't really care for it. So it gave me some things to think about in the last week for myself that like, well, I get to choose the things that make me happy. And even as we get past the week of thinking about it, I've still been using it here and there to kind of help out. Really excited about this week from other people. Recognizing, these other great events from other people's lives. So in soccer over the last weekend, my team played and it was awesome. It was a fantastically fun game. Everybody had a great time. And it's at the end of the game. So I run out into the field and I'm, just about to start talking to everybody else. We got to line up to do, our handshake after the game. And for a moment, just eerily quiet, and the whole place just erupts and just starts yelling, screaming, like saying how much of a wonderful game it was. And I was really, really excited for time appreciating that instead of spending my time being angry about some things, because it's really easy to be frustrated by people that you really no longer wish to respect. And sometimes they earn that by being deadbeats. So again, after the last couple of weeks of like, if you hang out with Five Smoke Hard, once you start to put me on a bad path, and then, take a moment and recognize that it's my thoughts that are going to go ahead and dictate my actions. And then my actions will dictate my behaviors will then dictate my habits. So if I think angry thoughts, I'll probably act a little bit more angry. I'll probably develop into an angry person, and then that's who I'll be. And I don't think that's who I want to be. So for a few minutes, and know that it's okay to go out there and some days be angry. It's a regular emotion, but we got to make sure that we can process it properly and move on to healthier things. So this is just that really nice reminder to you to help yourself to think about positive things that are small. So people who know me around the studio, I constantly ask, "What's your good news? What's the next thing you're excited about?" And I've been doing that one for about the last year, and I love the responses that I get from it because it gets people thinking through something positive for themselves. So again, the only person stopping you from happiness is you.